Welcome to session 34, the final session of our experiential study of Khyentse Rinpoche's amazing book, Living as Dying. Annie Zangmo and myself, Tsering, will be hosting this session with help and tech support from Ross, Annie Shanpan, and Nicolette. Now, please stay muted during the session, and we would appreciate no chats during this session as it'll be a practice session. We begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and other lands and recognise their connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I want to take this opportunity to thank our wonderful Living as Dying presentation team, Jacob, Annie Zangmo, Junship, Kirsten and Julie, as well as our awesome tech support helpers, Ross, Annie Shanpan, Nicolette and Ben. And most of all, you, the participants, for your continued interest and enthusiasm, which has been really inspiring. We've all learned so much this year and sincerely feel Living as Dying is a conversation that needs to continue. Tom Gwynn, our Siddhartha's Intent webmaster, has offered to help us by keeping all the recordings and resources we have gathered on a new website page within Siddhartha's Intent Australia, as well as in the SI Global Library. Kirsten will be continuing the Facebook and Instagram posts and will include links to these new website pages. In the new year, we'll also be launching a Living as Dying page within the community site on the SI Global website, where we'll post further resources and items of interest. In this blog-style page, we look forward to engaging with you all, inviting your ideas and suggestions with items related to death and dying. Our future aspiration is to put together teams of experienced volunteers in Australia and other countries to give advice and perform practices and rituals to help Sangha members and family friends on death occasions. And please get in touch if you'd like to be part of this vision. And in line with this same thought of keeping the conversation going, we'll begin today's session with a short video from the Death Cafe. Now, thank you, Nicolette.
The other day, I invited someone to join me in a conversation about death. That someone scoffed, they laughed, they scowled, I waited. "That's a little creepy, don't you think?" they asked. "I mean, how morbid can you be? What's wrong with you?" I told that someone, "Friend," although truly I knew them not. "But friend," I said, "I am interested in death and in dying, yes, and I want more than anything for us to talk about it. But this doesn't come from a morbid place, no. My interest all but stops when death appears. No, my focus is on life and on the living, and what death means to those." If this sounds contradictory to you, allow me to share some examples. 1. A focus on the closeness brought to relationships of all kinds when two people talk about their feelings surrounding death, an experience that invariably unites any two people on earth. 2. I worry about the crushing fear I see people suffering through as they approach their own death after a lifetime of seeing death as the enemy, if seeing death at all. 3. I worry about the elephant in the room, not just haunting the adults who choose not to talk about it, but also haunting and often terrifying the children who see it and who know they're not to mention it, and who who are left to their imaginations to explain why. 4, I look to my own death, seeing it as a call to live my life fully, like it's a giant billboard with the words, "You are alive" on it. 5, I look to the death of each person in my life, seeing it as a call to love that person with all my heart, like it's a giant billboard with the words, "This is your chance" on it. 6, I look to the world I live in, searching for a sign that this is living, organic, that this is real and precious, that this is changing and temporary. And I see no signs. I see endless distractions dressed up as information and entertainment and social networking, and I can't even remember what I'm looking for. I see faces on magazine covers and infomercials and music videos, and I wonder where all our elders have gone. And then I see nursing homes with no vacancy signs where long halls hold room after room after room of someone's mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, friend, neighbors staring at the walls, wondering where all the young ones have gone, wondering sometimes who they are, and still afraid to die. I see intensive care units with bright lights and masked faces, where a death not interrupted is a life not saved, a failure. And a victory over death ensures one less patient lost, one less account closed, and one more round of the painful suffering and fearful uncertainty that occupy that patient's final days, weeks, months of life. When I see funerals tucked nicely away behind closed doors, or death is either dressed up as sleep with paint and injections and other disguises, or handed to the next of kin in a box, sterilized and lemony fresh with a shiny bow on top if you're lucky. And now, listen. Yes, it's morbid. Yes, it's disturbing. It's dark and twisted. Yes, it's morose. But it's not death I'm referring to, nor dying. It's the life and the living we submit ourselves to when we don't allow death into the room. Oh, okay, I'll come clean. I lied. That person that I invited to this conversation on death, that person did not scoff. That person did not laugh. That person did not scowl. That person and every other person I've invited into this conversation with an open heart and an open mind looked me in the eye and took my hand and thanked me for letting them be who they are, a person who will die and who has one chance to do it and who has one chance to live because of it.
We'll now turn to living as dying for the Chutor water offering, a practice we can do for removing karmic debt for the deceased or for ourselves. And this is the first time I'm doing this practice, so please forgive any errors I make. Jacob and Janchib and myself are familiar with using the Zapzai mold for doing water offerings, where we sit by a mountain stream or the ocean and dip the mold into the water, making water sapsas. This simple form of Chutor is very popular with yogis. So in the text, Rinpoche has included here in Living as Dying a terma of Choga Lingpa. Chutor is similar practice to Sang and Sur, where we make offerings to the 4 classes of beings who are, firstly, the guests invited out of respect, the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Guru, Yidam, and Dakini, who appear vividly like clusters of stars in the sky above. Secondly, the protectors and their retinues who are invited on account of their qualities, gather like billowing clouds in the sky. Thirdly, the 6 classes of beings, guests invited out of compassion, all gathered together like a dense mist in the air. And last but not least, the guests to whom we owe karmic debts, all of them assembled on the ground as a huge crowd of humans and gods. Now, in chapter 12, what to do after death, Rinpoche speaks about the benefit of simple practices for the deceased, like water offerings and making satsas, saying no one gets jealous when you offer a bowl of water, whereas they might feel jealous if you were to offer a purse full of gold or silver. And also Rinpoche says how Sang pujas and water offering pujas are Vajrayana's excellent karmic debt clearing techniques. Traditionally, we would use copper utensils, as in the image Ross is showing here. However, with the right motivation, it's fine to use any clean utensils, such as those made from glass or crockery, which is what I'm going to use in this simple form of the practice. So here I have a glass bowl, and in there I've put a glass that I usually use as a circium. In the copper set, there's a tripod with a small plate that sits on top inside a copper bowl, but it says in the text it's also fine to use other material. And to begin with, I'm going to be offering clear water into the glass while saying the mantras. And then later on in the practice, we'll be offering food substance. Here I have some small candies, and we'll be offering milky water, milk mixed with water in that particular part of the practice. So as I was saying before, the practice that Jacob, Junship and I are familiar with is using a satsa mold like this, and we just place the mold into the water in a mountain stream or in the ocean. It's really a really nice practice to do in the summer. You can sit there and place the mold into the water while doing the practice and offering the water offerings. So we'll recite together from page 199, and I'll make the offering for you. As this is a practice of bodhicitta, we begin with visualizing ourselves as Avalokiteshvara Kasapani, the standing Shenrezi, as shown by Ross in the image beside the text. And we recite to begin with Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme, Mani Padme, Mani Padme, Mani Padme. Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme, Mani Padme, Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme, Mani Padme, Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme Hum. Then continuing to visualize ourselves as Avalokiteshvara Kasapani, we take refuge 3 times and generate bodhicitta with the 4 immeasurable thoughts. So if we can all recite together. I and all beings equal to the sky, take refuge in you, Avalokiteshvara, the protector who embodies all objects of refuge. Just as you formed the resolve towards enlightenment, for the sake of liberating beings filling all of space, I will quickly attain Buddhahood. I and all beings equal to the sky take refuge in you, Avalokiteshvara, the protector who embodies all objects of refuge. Just as you form the resolve towards enlightenment for the sake of liberating beings, filling all of space, I will quickly attain Buddhahood. I and all beings equal to the sky take refuge in you, Avalokiteshvara, the protector who embodies all objects of refuge. Just as you formed the resolve towards enlightenment for the sake of liberating beings filling all of space, I will quickly attain Buddhahood. May all beings without exception be happy. May they be free from all pain and thus never part from sublime joy. May they remain impartial and without bias. The first class of beings we offer to are the pretas, and quite often our karmic debtors are also in the form of preta beings or hungry ghosts. And Ross will ring the tingshat bells while I pour the clear water slowly into the glass, and we all say the mantra. Om Ah Shri Hong. Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong. Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong. Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong. And while we're doing this, chanting the mantra, we imagine that the pretas attain happy existence in the higher realms. Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong. Om Ah Shri Hong, 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 Om Ah Shri Hong. Om Ah Shri Hong, 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 Om Ah Shri Hong. Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong. Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong. Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong. Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong. Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong. Om Ah Shri Hong, Om Ah Shri Hong. The milky stream of nectar flowing from the hand of Avalokiteshvara Kasapani satisfies all hungry ghosts without exception. Next, we recite a stronger mantra while still pouring the clear water. Om Jwala Midam Sava Pratabhaya Swaha. 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 Imagine that the pretas with restricted ingestion depart. Then we imagine that all pretas with outer and inner obscurations assemble, and we contemplate compassionate emptiness. We discard the used water from the previous offering and slowly pour fresh water into the glass by reciting Namo Sava Tathagata Avalokite Om Sambara Sambara Hum. 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 Namo Savatadagata Avalokate Om Sambara Sambara Hum 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 Namo Savatadagata Avalokate Om Sambara Sambara Hum. And we imagine that they all obtain boundless sense pleasures. Snap your fingers and imagine that they depart elsewhere. And the next part of the practice, I've been told, is very special and particular to this Terma of Chogalingpa, as it includes all the classes of karmic debtors together. So for this part of the practice, we place some toma pills or dough balls, or it can be candies or grains such as rice in the bottom of the glass or the circum type vessel or whatever, or the plate, whatever you're using. And this time we're going to offer water mixed with milk, pouring that onto the food items we have in the glass or plate. And whatever food you use needs to be vegetarian. And once again, we refresh our visualization. In the sky before me is Avalokiteshvara Kasapani, the noble Vajragarbha, encircled by a host of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Yidam deities, Dakinis, and Dharma protectors. Below him are evil forces, obstructors, the 6 classes of beings, and especially all guests of karmic debt. Then we recite Om Hum as many times as we can. Here we'll do 100 times. Om Hum, Om Hum, Om Hum, Within emptiness, a vast jewel vessel appears. From the letter Drung, within which my body melts into light and becomes an ocean of tomas and nectar. Now we consecrate with sprinkling water from the bumpa, Om Hum. My mind is in the form of Kasapani and serves all guests with offerings and alms. Imagining this, offer with the Sambara mantra. Here we continue pouring the milky water on the food offering. Namo Savatadagata Avalokate Om Sambara Sambara Hum. Namo Savatadagata Avalokate Om Sambara Sambara Hum. Namo Savatadagata Avalokate Om Sambara Sambara Hum. Om, noble Vajragarbha, who vanquishes all misdeeds and obscurations, and the ocean-like host of venerable objects of refuge, accept this nectar toma of my body Grant your blessings, purify misdeeds and obscurations, bestow the accomplishments and dispel all obstacles, evil forces, obstructors, spirits, the 6 classes of beings, and especially all guests of karmic debt. Enjoy this undefiled nectar and clear all karmic debts and obligations. May all your hostility, ill will, and viciousness be pacified, and may you be endowed with the awakened mind. I think if you were doing this practice for another person, for the deceased, you would name the person and say, accept this nectar toma of, and the person's name. At the end, no longer behold the guest for offering an alms, but rest in the continuity of emptiness. Through this, you will perfect the accumulations, cheat death, and in general purify misdeeds and obscurations, and in particular clear unwholesome quadrip and karmic debts. For these reasons, exert yourself in this every day. This was the liberating offering and giving of the noble Vajragarbha. Following the oral teachings of Tuka Urken Rinpoche, this was extracted from the Pema Gawang Chutor, Chokling Tersa, Volume 27, and translated by Eric Pema Kunsang and edited by Michael Tweed at Nagi Gompler in 1995, and also reproduced with kind permission of Eric Pema Kunsang. And now I'm going to hand over to Annie Zangmo, who will lead us through the practice of life release, beginning with Rinpoche's advice on this in Chapter 12, What to Do After Death, on page 165. Ross, if you can please screen share this.
Just while that's getting ready. So we're doing the life release today as part of our dedication and auspiciousness for the finishing of the program. So I don't know if people have prepared to do it at home as well, but we'll talk a little bit about that after we've finished with these words. The practice of life release. Buddhists practice 2 kinds of accumulation: the accumulation of merit and the accumulation of wisdom. Merit is accumulated through practices like generosity, diligence, discipline, and so on, and wisdom is accumulated through the practice of meditation and activities like hearing and contemplation. This means that of the 6 parameters, 3 accumulate merit, 2 accumulate wisdom, and both accumulations require the parameter of patience. The accumulation of wisdom and merit are interdependent and indispensable on the Buddhist path. For instance, at the most mundane level, without merit we lack the means to hear, study, and contemplate the Dharma. And without wisdom it is only possible to accumulate small-time merit. If you lack wisdom, you will never be able to transform a rather ordinary offering, such as a single lotus petal, into the kind of offering that accumulates inexhaustible merit. Therefore, merit and wisdom go hand in hand. Merit is often categorized either as stained merit or stainless merit. Stained merit is the merit you accumulate with the boundaries of your dualistic mind and emotions, whereas stainless merit is accumulated when your merit-making activities are accompanied by an understanding of shunyata. Life release is one of the many activities that accumulate stained or ordinary merit. We practice it when we rescue living beings from certain death. You could, for example, buy live fish that have just been caught and return them to a river or the sea, or buy up all the turkeys that are about to be slaughtered for Thanksgiving. Saving the lives of such beings is said to accumulate the supreme kind of stained merit. Life release is practiced all over Asia, and various rituals have been developed to accompany the process. For example, Jamyang Wangpo's increasing life and prosperity, which we're going to use today. However, you don't necessarily have to perform the ritual itself or read a text. It is enough simply to save the lives of beings that are about to be put to death and dedicate the merit towards the enlightenment of all sentient beings. And I hear lots of examples of people moving worms, saving worms. Sometimes many of us will stop and pick up a bird that's been hit on the road. They're not always dead. So to take that little being home and let it die naturally in a box, or whatever's doable. There's lots of ways of doing very simple things. One of the important things is that we make sure whatever we're releasing, especially if we're buying something, that we're putting it into its natural environment where it can live. So there's many stories of people buying goldfish and releasing them into the wrong water, doing all sorts of things that cause problems with the environment and also don't support the little creatures. So really, really important to make sure that you're choosing the right thing. When I was at Wangpo Abbey, they had a deal with the fishermen there that in lobster season, the very last catch of the year, Wangpo Abbey, everyone would put in and they would buy the last catch, and then we would all go out onto the boat and let the lobsters go back into the water, so knowing that they would be safe for at least another year. And there were many, many releases done with Khyentse Rinpoche when he was in Australia, and there would be mud crabs, but again a lot of effort had gone into making sure we knew where the mud crabs had to go back to. Lobsters, what else did we do? Pippies, all sorts of things. But again, really important to make sure we know where they're going. And the other recommendation is that if you can't do the crickets or a fish or whatever, that we can donate money to places like Save the Brumbies or to local animal shelters and people that we know are doing good things. But I personally find that it's useful, especially if I'm doing it with other people, to have something for them to see, to actually have contact with what we're doing. It just brings it to life a little bit. So I've actually got 7 punnets of crickets that we'll be doing the prayers for and releasing today. And I'm sure most of you have seen these. You get them at pet supply stores. They've got aeration on both sides, so it's really easy to lift up. So I always make sure that I give them an offering of some sliced up carrot in both sides. And then I've made a little blessing bottle which has dutsi or a crushed up blessing pill. I fill that with water and I use that to put a spray in both sides so they get that connection with our lineage as well. You could bless your own water with mantra, however you want to do that. But again, a nice thing to do. And I usually play them some Dharma. So these crickets have had Rinpoche's instructions when he gave the teaching from Guru Rinpoche to Yeshe Sogyal. So they've heard this many times. So again, thinking liberation by hearing, we're giving them every opportunity we can to have a different rebirth. I think I've said enough about that. I'll just say one more thing. Sometimes we're doing this for ourselves or for people we know, and other times, you might be doing it. I've done it in a group when someone has died and the family are Buddhist but all the friends aren't, so they would gather and we would do the cricket release as part of the offering for that person. When I'm doing that, I don't read as much of the formal things in the actual practice. So it's okay maybe even to do the formal part before people arrive if you're offering it for someone else. But again, I usually work it out with the family so I can just see, what will be appropriate. But I ask them to participate. So if I was doing this with a group, I would ask them to offer carrot, I would ask them to bless the crickets, and then to be wishing them well while I'm doing the formal prayers. So we'll get started. And this translation, I think for those of you that do this regularly, you'll notice the translation's a little bit different and the mantra's a little bit different. Don't don't think that you've got the wrong text, they're just slightly different. And there's a section where we're the transcendent free conqueror. When we get to that section, instead of saying I salute you, we're going to say I prostrate to you. So again, just a slightly different translation. Increasing life and prosperity, a method for freeing lives. Jamyang Wangpo. Homage to the Guru, the transcendent free conqueror, Lord, boundless life, Buddha Amitayas. The accomplished master, Nagi Wangchuk Drukpa said, by saving the lives of birds, fish and deer, or thieves, snakes and others to be killed, your present life will be extended, even though it would otherwise be short. As indicated by the above statement, all the sutras and tantras teach that freeing the lives of sentient beings who are certain to be killed is supreme among all types of longevity practices. For this reason, and because freeing lives brings immeasurable benefits, all sensible people should increase their efforts to free lives. Generally speaking, this means, with noble frame of mind, to primarily free the lives of animals in your own possession. Additionally, refrain from killing them yourself or selling them to others. Instead, nurture them in peace. By merely doing so, while dedicating the roots of virtue and making aspirations for their benefit, you will have fulfilled the present purpose, and it is therefore permissible not to perform any other specific ceremony. If you prefer to perform a slightly more elaborate version in accordance with place, occasion, and degree of detail, then you can do so as found in several instructions from the early translations, such as making the animal a support for a Dharma protector and so forth. Or if you wish to perform more detailed versions of the utterance of auspiciousness, dedication, and aspirations, it would be excellent if you combine this with a special time such as the miracle month, the first month, the 8th day, or the new or full moon. If the primary purpose is to extend someone's lifespan, then perform this at sunrise at the conducive time of the ascending life planet. In any case, place those whose lives are to be freed in front of you and say 3 times. I've also got a bowl of rose petals here, so if you have some rose petal or a flower at home, we'll be using that later on. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until enlightenment. By the merit of generosity and so forth, may I attain Buddhahood for the welfare of all beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until enlightenment. By the merit of generosity and so forth, may I attain Buddhahood for the welfare of all beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until enlightenment. By the merit of generosity and so forth, may I attain Buddhahood for the welfare of all beings. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not part from the sublime happiness that is free of suffering. May they remain in the great equanimity, free from bias and partiality. Thus contemplate the 4 immeasurables. If you like, you can chant the names of the Buddhas and their particular Dharani mantras. To repeat these many times will bring immense benefit, such as sowing the seed of liberation in the mind stream of animals. If you are unable to do that much, then we recite the following. And when we're outside doing this, or with Jigme Khyentse Rinpoche doing this, we're usually standing. But of course at home we're sitting here. But it's also okay to stand while you're doing the practice and actually visualize yourself. When you say I prostrate to you, actually visualize yourself prostrating. Transcendent free conqueror, thus gone, foe destroyer, truly and perfectly awakened Buddha, boundless light, I prostrate to you. Transcendent free conqueror, thus gone, foe destroyer, truly and perfectly awakened Buddha, unshakable, I prostrate to you. Transcendent free conqueror, thus gone, foe destroyer, truly and perfectly awakened Buddha, jewel crest, I prostrate to you. Transcendent free conqueror, thus gone, foe destroyer, truly and perfectly awakened Buddha, renowned King of splendor, I prostrate to you. Transcendent free conqueror, thus gone, foe destroyer, truly and perfectly awakened Buddha, jewel, moon and lotus, adorned King of knowledge, brilliance and eloquence, I prostrate to you. Transcendent free conqueror, thus gone, foe destroyer, truly and perfectly awakened Buddha, flawless pure gold, jewel light, master of courageous conduct, I prostrate to you. Transcendent free conqueror, thus gone, foe destroyer, truly and perfectly awakened Buddha, sorrowless, immanent splendor, I prostrate to you. Transcendent free conqueror, thus gone, foe destroyer, truly and perfectly awakened Buddha, Dharma, expounding melodious ocean, I prostrate to you. Transcendent free conqueror, thus gone, foe destroyer, truly and perfectly awakened Buddha, Dharma, ocean, higher knowledge displayed through eminent insight, I prostrate to you. Transcendent free conqueror, thus gone, foe destroyer, truly and perfectly awakened Buddha, supreme healer, King of lapis light, I prostrate to you. Transcendent free conqueror, thus gone, foe destroyer, truly and perfectly awakened Buddha, Shakyamuni, I prostrate to you. Om Mane Padme Hum Shri Namo Ratnatrayaya Namo Bhagavate Akshobhaye Tathagataye Arate Samyaksam Buddhaya Tadyata Om Kamkani Kamkani Ratsani Ratsani Trotani Trotani Trasani Trasani Pratihana Pratihana Savakama Parampara Nime Sava Sattvanansa Swaha Nama Ratnatrayaya Nama Arya Jana Sagara Varasana Buaya Rajaya Tathagataye Arate Samyaksam Buddhaya Namasava Tathagatabhya Aratabhya Samyaksam Buddhaya Nama Arya Avoliketa Shivaraya Bodhisattvaya Mahasattvaya Mahakarunikaya Tadyata Om Dara Dara Diri Diri Duru Duru Iti Piti Sale Sale Prasale Prasale Kusuke Kusaka Pare Imi Ili Mili Siddhizvala Mapa Naya Swaha. We do this 2 more times. Om Mane Padme Hum Hri Namo Ratnatrayaya Namo Bhagavate Akshobhaya Tathagataye Arate Samyaksam Buddhaya Tadyata Om Kamkani Kamkani Ratsani Ratsani Trotani Trotani Trasani Trasani Pratihana Pratihana Savakama Parampara Nime Sava Sattvanansa Swaha Nama Ratnatrayaya Nama Arya Jana Sakara Parasana Bhuya Rashaya Tathagataye Arate Samyaksam Buddhaya Namasava Tathagatabhya Aratabhya Samyaksam Buddhaya Nama Avo Arya Avalokiteshvaraya Bodhisattvaya Mahasatvaya Mahakarunikaya Tadyata Om Dara Dara Diri Diri Duru Duru Iti Piti Sale Sale Prasale Prasale Kusuke Kusuka Bare Ili Mili Siti Zvala Manapaya Swaha. Om Mani Padme Hum Hri Namo Ratnatrayaya Namo Bhagavate Akshobhaya Akshobhaya Tathagataya Arate Samyaksam Buddhaya Tadyata Om Kamkani Kamkani Rasani Rasani Trotani Trotani Trasani Trasani Pratihana Pratihana Savakame Parampare Nime Sava Sattva Nansa Swaha Nama Ratnatrayaya Nama Areya Jana Sakara Parosana Bueya Rajaya Tathagataya Arate Samyaksam Buddhaya Nama Sava Tathagatabhya Aratabhya Samyaksam Buddhaya Nama Ara Avalokiteshavaraya Bodhisattvaya Mahasattvaya Mahakarunikaya Tadyata Om Dara Dara Diri Diri Duru Duru Iti Piti Sale Sale Prasale Prasale Kusuke Kusuka Vare Ele Miele Siti Zvala Mandapaya Swaha. And then if you have a flower or a petal, we hold it in our hands. In the sky before me is the Guru indivisible, from the transcendent free conqueror, Buddha boundless light, encircled by an ocean-like assembly of the precious objects of refuge, including the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, and the Devas and Rishis accomplished in truthful speech. They are vividly present, and their melodious voices utter auspicious wishes. The immense rain of flowers they shower down increases and extends further and further the lifespan and merit, splendor and prosperity, wisdom and virtues of myself and all sentient beings, headed by the benefactor. All those who are reborn as animals are presently freed from the fear of untimely death and live peacefully under the protection of the 3 jewels. Ultimately, when the seed of liberation ripens within their stream of being, they are invested with the fortune of quickly attaining enlightenment. So while imagining this and keeping that intention, we chant together again. Like the mighty royal crest of the victory banner, sublime deity adorning these practitioners' heads, bestowing upon them the supreme accomplishment, glorious and eminent Guru, may your auspiciousness be present. Unexcelled teacher, precious Buddha, unexcelled protector, precious sacred Dharma, unexcelled guide, precious Sangha, may the auspiciousness of the refuge objects of the 3 jewels be present. Boundless life, the primary guide of this world, who overcomes all types of untimely death, protector of all unprotected and suffering beings, may the auspiciousness of the Buddha Amitayas be present. The strength of giving truly exalts the Buddha. The line of men has realized the strength of giving. When entering the city of compassion, may the lifespan of perfect giving also increase. The strength of ethics truly exalts the Buddha. The line of men has realized the strength of ethics. When entering the city of compassion, may the lifespan of perfect ethics also increase. The strength of patience truly exalts the Buddha. The line of men has realized the strength of patience. When entering the city of compassion, may the lifespan of perfect patience also increase. The strength of perseverance truly exalts the Buddha. The line of men has realized the strength of perseverance. When entering the city of compassion, may the lifespan of perfect perseverance also increase. The strength of concentration truly exalts the Buddha. The line of men has realized the strength of concentration. When entering the city of compassion, may the lifespan of perfect concentration also increase. The strength of insight truly exalts the Buddha. The line of men has realized the strength of insight. When entering the city of compassion, may the lifespan of perfect insight also increase. And we'll be doing this one 3 times as well. Om Namah Bhagavate Aparamita Arayujana Suvena Shita Tejorujaya Tatatakaya Arate Samyaksa Buddhaya Tadyata Om Punye Punye Mahapunye Aparamita Punye Jana Sambara Pachita Om Sava Samskara Parishuddha Dhammatagana Sumukate Svavava Vishuddhe Mahanaya Parivare Swaha. Om Namah Bhagavate Aparamita Yujana Suvena Shita Tejurajaya Tatatakaya Arate Samyaksam Buddhaya Tadyata Om Punye Mahapunye Aparamita Punya Jana Sambara Pachita Om Sava Samskara Parashuddha Dhammate Gagana Samukate Svavava Vishuddhe Mahanaya Parivara Swaha. Om Namah Bhagavate Aparamita Yujana Suvena Shita Tejorajaya Tatatakaya Arate Samyaksam Buddhaya Tadyata Om Punye Mahapunye Aparamita Punya Jana Sambara Pachita Om Sava Samskara Parashuddha Dhammata Gagana Sumukate Svavava Vishuddhe Mahanaya Parivare Swaha. As implied by the virtuous roots of doing this, may the virtuous roots gathered throughout the 3 times make the Buddha's teachings prosper and bring forth immense virtuous goodness in the world. May all sublime people upholding the Dharma live long and steadfast, and may their activities flourish. May all sentient beings headed by this benefactor have increased lifespan and merit, splendor, prosperity and wisdom. May these animals too be freed from the fears of samsara and the lower realms, and soon attain the precious state of enlightenment. By this virtue may all beings perfect the accumulations of merit and wisdom, and may they attain the sacred 2 kayas resulting from this merit and wisdom. By this virtue may all attain omniscience, having defeated the enemy wrongdoing, from the stormy ways of birth, old age, sickness and death. From the ocean of samsara may I free all beings. In all our lives, wherever we take rebirth, may we never be separate from the 3 jewels. May we always venerate them and receive their blessings. May the precious mind of enlightenment arise in those it has not arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not wane, but increase further and further. As the single source of benefit and well-being, may the teachings remain for a long time, and may the lifespan of the people who uphold these teachings be steadfast like the banner of victory. May the world have peace and delightful years. May crops be bountiful and cattle increase. May the source of every peace and goodness be present, and may all wishes be fulfilled. In In this very life as well, may all types of unfavorable conditions subside. May we have long life, good health and prosperity, and attain enduring happiness by the strength of this powerful merit. In this life, may the benefactors, along with their following, accomplish their alms, be free of obstacles, have the best of luck, and fulfill their spiritual wishes. And we continue to make dedication and aspirations, remembering the amazing participation we've had in Rinpoche's book, all of the merit we've created together, offering that out to the world, knowing that everything that we've done, all of our learnings, all little ripples to make a big difference. May we continue to grow this and to be able to share what we've learnt with Rinpoche's words and book. By the blessings of the Supreme Buddha, eminent and unexcelled, the victorious Son of Truth, may the harmful foes of Maras and obstructors subside, so that the auspiciousness of constant splendor is present day and night. By the blessings of the Dharma of the unconditioned nature, eminent and unexcelled, the sacred Dharma's nectar of truth, may the painful foes of the five poisonous emotions subside, so that the auspiciousness of constant splendor is present day and night. By the blessings of the Sangha, qualities blazing in precious brilliance, the true beneficial deeds of the conqueror's offspring, may the flaws of misdeeds be removed and may goodness increase, so that the auspiciousness of constant splendor is present day and night. Enjoyment of the splendor of immortal life, intelligence and discerning insight, whatever splendor and wealth of samsara and nirvana there may be, may their auspiciousness be spontaneously present. May merit increase and flourish like the lofty king of mountains. May great fame spread throughout the sky. May there be long life, good health, and spontaneous benefit for others. And may the auspiciousness of an ocean of eminent qualities be present. May this place have peace and happiness morning and night. May the midday as well be peaceful and happy. May there be peace and happiness every day and night. And the auspiciousness of the three jewels be present. Omiye dame hetu prabhava edem teshin tategato evata teshim shayu nirita evadi mahashramana swaha. Omiye dame hetu prabhava edem teshin tategato evata teshim shayu nirita evadi mahashramana swaha. Omiye dame hetu prabhava edem teshin tategato evata teshim shayu nirita evadi mahashramana swaha. I've been strewing many flowers on our behalf. If you prefer some other text for longevity practice, mention the one that can make the sun and moon, mention that one, can make the sun and moon marks on the forehead of those whose lives you have freed, so that they will henceforth not be killed. In this way it is taught that drawing the design of the sun and moon with butter on their foreheads creates the auspicious coincidence for luck and good fortune. Do so accordingly. Furthermore, if you refrain from using traps, fishing nets, or the like, in order to save the lives of birds, fish, and deer, do so, while including the above-mentioned bodhicitta resolve, as well as the dedications and aspirations. By combining this with the smoke offering, lasam, and so forth, the benefits will be immeasurable, as exemplified by freeing lives. In particular, in the area where you do the practice, many auspicious signs will appear, such as seasonal rainfall and prosperous crops and cattle. In this jewel garland, the noble Nagarjuna says, sensible people should always place food, water, and plant oil, or heaps of grains at the entrance of an ant nest. Accordingly, giving food to ants, clean food to fish, or medicine to the sick, throwing a feast for children, or giving food and drink to birds and the destitute, All these should be embraced with the skillful means of bodhicitta resolve and sincere dedications and aspirations. If you do so, it will become a cause for averting death, increasing prosperity, and ultimately great enlightenment. Since this is easy to do, involves minor hardship, and brings immense benefit, all intelligent people, in various ways, persevere in these skillful means for gathering accumulations. And you can add here anything that makes sense to the area that you're in. So here we have a lot of snails. It's quite a moist area, so you can move the snails. There's many, many ways we can do this. In order to benefit both myself and others, this was written by Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo, someone who is devoted to the Bodhisattva Pitaka, motivated by pure intentions. May this be a cause for the lives of the sublime upholders of the teachings to last for 100 eons, for all sentient beings to be liberated from the fears of untimely death, and for their imminent attainment of the state of the Buddha of boundless life, Sava Mangalam. At the command of Chutor Rinpoche, a great bodhisattva who truly embodies the virtues mentioned here, this was translated by Eric Pemakunsong and edited by Marcia Binder-Schmitz and Michael Tweed, proofread and reprinted by Iden in 2003, and it's a Ranjung Yeshi publication. Also, for those who are interested, if you don't have this is Chutor Rinpoche's Compassionate Actions, which has a variety of teachings, but also about his respect, love, and release of animals. So well worth having in your library. Thank you. If there's any questions about life release, please do ask at the end. We're now going to recite Rinpoche's long life prayer together. Long life supplication for Dzongsa Khyentse Rinpoche by Dudjom Rinpoche. Om Swasti, Skalgal and Lotes Haruka, conqueror of Marus, whose deathless natural wisdom mind has transformed the root of existence into great Vajra bliss, subjugator of apparent phenomena, please shower the blessings of immortality. Fearless Lord of speech, you are the Vajra holder of the profound secret treasures of wisdom and compassion, victorious one of all-pervading activity. May your three secrets remain indestructible and everlasting, as vowed by Vimala Mitra and King Trisun Detsun, to constantly manifest out of compassion. You came as a warrior to protect the doctrine and all beings in this dark age. May you remain forever as the unchanging Vajra essence. May the virtuous seed of this supplication, warmed and moistened by the undeceiving two truths, ripen into a splendid fruit that beautifies the three worlds with utmost auspiciousness. I think we'll have Tsering coming back with us. Here we go.
Thank you, Annie Zangmo. That was fabulous.
You're welcome. I'll just say too that all these little crickets are going up to an end block here. There's a block that has, it's a vacant block and it has huge undergrowth and shrub and everything. So I usually let them go either early in the morning or later at night so they can have the best chance of finding a safe space. That's it. Over to you.
Oh, are there any questions?
Do we need to do the usual other dedication?
No. I was just wondering if there are any questions about the life release you mentioned.
Or the water offering, because that was different to what a lot of us would have done before. It was wonderful.
There was one question in the chat, what does the sun and moon symbol look like?
Is this for the I've never painted it on animals, but I
It's
can't.
it's a kind of new moon with a circular sun in the middle. Hmm.
Sorry, you might like to say that again, Tsering.
It's like a new moon with a circular sun just sitting inside the moon on its side, just a sliver of moon with the sun sitting on the inside. Yeah.
Wonderful.
It's used a lot in Nepal and India when animals like goats and cows and so forth are released to live their life, and horses to live their life. Perhaps they've been working horses, but then they're released to live their life out in the paddock just naturally, and that symbol will be put on their foreheads to make sure everyone knows that they're not to be touched. And of course, in places like Nepal and India, people respect that. Yeah.
I'm just reading the chat. There's a number of thank yous.
And Shampan's also put the websites for Edgar's Mission, which is here in Victoria, just out of Melbourne, and also Save the Brumbies that you mentioned before, Zangmo.
Oh, fantastic.
Mm.
Thank you for all your wonderful comments, and I'm hoping that we'll capture some of them and share them maybe in the new part of the website, or however we can do that, but we'll find a way to share some of the comments, because we've been getting some really lovely feedback, and we want to have a place to store some of that for people to see.
Right. We've got some exciting things coming up with the global SI community website, and we'll look forward to meeting you all there in the new year. And meantime, take care and let us know. Please get in touch if you need any assistance with any of the things that we've discussed over the year, and we'll do our best to help you. Okay.
And I just want to say, a huge thanks. This has been such an incredible program that, has run for so many weeks. And I can't imagine the work that's gone into it behind the scenes. And, every week the presenters have just been incredible. The topics have been incredible. And, your combination of Rinpoche's book and the presenters that you have aligned with those sections, has just been wonderful. And I'm sure I speak on everybody's behalf that we're just so grateful and appreciative to the whole team for doing this, and to you particularly, Tsering and Ross. You've just worked so hard to bring this program to us, and we are all so very, very grateful for what you've done. So thank you so much to all of the team.
And I
thank you
for Tsering, because this has been Tsering's vision. She brought it to life. We all got on board, but really she has been the driver and initiated it. So thank you so much. I don't know what I'm going to do on Sunday nights. But it feels very strange that this is our last time together after 34 weeks.
I'm sure Tsering's going to rest on a Sunday night from now on.
Oh no, she's got something cooking. I've already heard. She's already. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for making this real. Keep the conversations going. It's not the end, we're going to continue doing things.
Mm,
That
yes,
is
for
so great. So great. Thank you very, very much.
sure.
Most awesome. I hope everyone, yeah, that's such, I feel so grateful. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Okay, we'll
Okay.
say bye-bye.
Bye
Yeah,
Big blessings.
yeah.
bye.
Love you all.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.